Business efficiency is a hot topic right now, and no matter what sector your organization is in or what your specific business processes look like, there's always room for improvement. In today's episode of the Process and Automation podcast with the Automation Guys, you will find out how your business can benefit from AI chatbots so you can become more efficient and to improve the customer experience. Hello and welcome to our first chatbot episode, and I'm sure there will be plenty of more. Today we will dive into the best use cases for external and internal facing AI-powered chatbots. With me here as usual is Arno to discuss today's topic with me. Hello Arno.
Hi Sasha.
So why chatbots, Arno?
Well, chatbots, and particularly those that's powered by AI or artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms, are gaining a lot of popularity. Across a lot of industries. Obviously because of their power and their versatility, and the impacts of these chatbots being deployed, and as they get adopted from industry to industry. I thought it's a really good time to dive deeper into what chatbots are and how can they help your business become more efficient. And I'm sure as our listeners out there knows, chatbots has been something that has been around for a while. But what we've seen in the last year or so is really these chatbots that's powered by AI has become incredibly intelligent and incredibly versatile. And as it's true for many sort of mid to large scale organizations, inevitably or undoubtedly, you have divisions in these organizations that face both outward. So this is to your customers or your clients, and then also divisions that faces inwards. And these are divisions that particularly handle, for example, employee concerns. So I guess it doesn't matter who the customer is of the chatbot, so outward or inward. These chatbots can provide a lot of assistance in streamlining your processes and cutting process costs. How much it costs to run these processes. And also helping people to get back to intuitive, people-centric, aspects of their day-to-day roles within inside an organization.
Yeah, so it is a very popular topic, especially with the AI element of it. So I remember most of these chatbots, like with my online banking, if I have a question, it pops up. Sometimes with some websites, or nowadays instead of the contact form, I think you see it as well. So you have these sometimes very, very basic chatbots. It's more like actually it's contact forms, but sort of it feels more conversational. But this is it's still very basic in lots of cases. As you mentioned, we talk about when we talk about chatbots, we talk about these two main areas: external facing chatbots on the one side, and then the internal facing chatbots on the other side. So let's dive into the external facing ones, the use cases ones first. So the external ones, we probably more familiar with. As I mentioned, we see this little icon there popping up in the right bottom corner a lot. So better known. These kind of scenarios, like with the bank or so, are very, very popular. Our shopping websites. So we're more familiar with this one. So we see it as well integrated. These chatbots integrated into sort of Facebook pages of companies, and so these are sort of the typical sort of low-hanging fruits for many businesses, to be sort of more customer facing, and so it's like sometimes Yeah, so it's just sort of a sort of a much needed backup for external facing teams like customer service, for example.
Yeah, and I think customer service is probably the first business area that people think about when they start using chatbots. And, that's for a good reason, because, customer service chatbots are becoming, very popular. If you have incoming customer service request, a lot of the simple queries can be handled by a chatbot, before a human agent even sees them. So again, this frees up people to put a lot more time and energy into more complicated cases in their queue. So we can train a chatbot to, of course, pass the actual case, so to speak, onto a human agent. Should it need to do that, or that the human actually request for that to be done. And in all that, this keeps customers very happy, because they're getting a very good service. With the intelligence that's behind these bots, I think people know they're talking to bots, but as long as the bots service their request and provide them with a very seamless journey, then why not use this? I think it's again that topic we touched on. Put the automation in the right place for the particular degree of human interaction you need. So if you have a sort of a tier one sort of customer service request, a change of address, there's no reason why you should speak to somebody on the phone to do that. You can do that very quickly using a chatbot interface. Of course, there are security protocols. Some of the chatbots we built before you actually get into the details of the chatbot loading your record or your file or the data that you wish to update. It will send you a OTP code to your phone, and you need to verify that. So, of course, there are elements of security that needs to be considered. But these days, the chatbot platforms are so powerful, and of course, they're all low code as well. None of these chatbots needs to be coded by hand. It's really just configuration, and all you need to determine is the sort of journeys that you want to enable these chatbots to take your customers on. And for customer experience, I think that's the number one use case, and probably the lowest hanging fruit for chatbot.
Yeah, especially with a really good designed chatbots on your website. You can really cover all the customer needs 24/7, isn't it? So your main office hours are maybe from 9 to 5. I think with lots of insurances and banks that's the case, but lots of things actually happening when people are back from work. Now with home offices and working from home is a bit different maybe, but very often it is the case. You have, when it comes to online banking or that kind of stuff, it all happens usually in the evening hours. And if you then have a really good chatbot in place, that is very beneficial for the end customer, especially if like things like claims or whatever are immediately processed through. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And it's a differentiator. I think that where do I want to go to get my queries resolved? A place where I can quickly speak online 24/7, whenever it's convenient for me, to a mechanism or something that could resolve my query very fast, very interactive? Or do I want to go to a place where I have to phone a number, end up in a queue, speaking to various people just to do a very simple customer service request? So again, I think that's becoming a really good differentiator, for businesses out there, and this is not a nice to have. I think sort of going into 2022, I think this is an absolute must have for business that wants to, promote good customer services, for example, and create good customer experience. Now, of course, it doesn't end with chatbots. Chatbots is just a channel, but it's a very popular, convenient channel, and very known, because a lot of people, of course, are using peer-to-peer messaging. So it's a very familiar experience. And I think as long as the automation behind the chatbot like the robotic process automation that the chatbot leverages to go and actually fetch that customer record from your backend. As long as all of those things are also plumbed into the design of the bots, you can create really, really superior experiences for your customer, which is, real time. I mean, I saw an example of a chatbot, and I know they say you shouldn't humanize it too much, but in this instance, when the customer record was loaded and it was also the customer's birthday, it did say in a friendly way with emoji, happy birthday. And it's the small things like this, the kind of quote unquote know your customer, that actually makes these things actually more approachable, make them more sort of acceptable to use, not just for millennials out there that's kind of on their phones all the time, kind of chatting away to each other, but also, other generation of people as well, which would traditionally would have picked up the phone. So it's such a powerful tool that you round off your hyper automation journey with. And and again, I would say to all our listeners out there that kind of is interested in this topic, I think in 2022 and beyond, this will become something really, really big.
Yeah, it seems like it pops up already on most websites in the very basic version. So this kind of stuff sort of commoditizes at the moment. So everyone is getting really used to the first level, but really combining it with the AI, or not even necessarily the AI, but with all the data. I think this is where then the next level really can be very, very powerful for businesses. Connecting, we had this last week as well. So there's so much data out there. You just need to connect it, and putting all that stuff now into the customer channel is extremely valuable.
Yep, and making it accessible. And I think know your customer. That's such a golden mantra to take forward in your automation journey. I think that should be a slogan that should be very prominent on your agenda, because I think that once your customer know that you know them well and what they want and their preferences are, then that's a very, very good foundation to lay a very powerful customer service journey for your customer, and also the retention of your customers. You want to keep them, you want to make them feel like they're at a place where you do care, you do know about them, you do resolve queries very quickly. Do I want to go somewhere else? No, because I like these guys. And again, I think let's look at products and services, prices of products and services. I think people sometimes, because they're so busy these days, they are willing to sacrifice a higher price point for a better service and a better sales service. And I think this is the enabler for that.
Yeah, and especially in difficult times, crisis times or so, I think every business should focus on really keeping the customers and making that sales process and customer process as easy as possible. Because winning a new customer, I think if someone is not really happy with maybe versus a very slow manual customer service, losing that customer can be quite expensive, or winning a new one is usually far more expensive. So I think it's very wise for business to adopt that, to bring that in, especially now we all sort of 100% more digital than we have been last year. So I think that needs to be spot on, and that brings us to the next point. I think the order processing is another really good use case for chatbots. So we talked about this. You're on a website, and maybe that website has a few hiccups, and maybe within processing something goes wrong, and So and then you might lose the order, and you get frustrated. But if there's immediately sort of a chatbot available for you on this side to maybe ask that question, what happened here? I was halfway through the order, and the chatbot understands that and can then use the API connections and sort of that capability into sort of backend systems and order systems, inventory systems, payment systems, customer records. So if this is all available for the chatbot, so then you can really have that customer keep that engaged and say, yeah, we're sorting this out and we found the order. So that's so much easier. So as soon as we have something like that in place for our customers, with all the sort of service requirements, the chatbot can handle all these things. And as you mentioned, this one was the birthday in between. At the same time, a chatbot can do very very clever upselling as well. So you order this technical equipment here. Usually was this technical equipment we suggest these accessories. So why not putting them on the order? So all these kind of things, really make a difference.
And I think the art of the impossible is very very small here. The possibilities using this is vast, and you're talking about upselling, and I think that, let's face it, everybody loves a bargain, and in my head, I can imagine a journey where I am actually interacting with a shopping cart. There's certain things that I want to purchase. Maybe a recommendation is made to purchase another add-on. If I say no, then actually you can train this chatbot to negotiate and say, well, what about a 10% discount or a 20% discount? So these are the things that's a reality. These are the things you can build. And I think it's important to mention to our listeners out there, when we say chatbot, we don't just mean one digital bot that sits there. These things scale. So you could have an absolute army of these things that is extremely scalable, that could do thousands of concurrent engagements. And like you said, with order processing, that's a simple example. But with that scalability that's built into the technology, the reach, to do some of these additional selling or additional offers for end customers are massive, and that have a very very big impact, on your business's bottom line. For example, if you for instance do online selling, for example.
I think and there's a really really good point you made there. I think there's so many use cases, and some of them, if it's come to upselling, if you think about the costs of a chatbot, for example, and putting this in place, so the costs are obviously, there are some costs, but they're very very it's not as crazy as you might think, but having those kind of use cases in place where you automatically upsell or generate 30-40% more business per sale, so this immediately pays off pays for this kind of implementation. Plus it has all sorts of other benefits, not just on the upselling side, but very often these technologies like RPA, the return of investment, the ROI is very very early achieved.
Yes.
This certainly applies here as well.
Well, think about the journey as well. So I am placing an order, and I am not just getting very good service and guidance throughout the order. I've bagged myself a bargain, but it doesn't have to stop there, because the engagement with a chatbot can also be asynchronous. And what that means is that once your order is dispatched, the chatbot will actually engage you again and say, we're excited to tell you your order is now being dispatched, and it will be delivered with you on this date. And then once the order is delivered, it will actually tell you that it's been delivered. Enjoy your product. So it's not just that kind of initial touch point with the customer, and then once the order goes down, the chatbot disappears. It's also just following through that whole journey, just to, I guess, give the customer really, really good experience up until the goods arrive. And again, the chatbot is something that could proactively send out a ping as well, to notify you, and you can talk back to it, and request perhaps the delivery date being changed, for example, or it can offer you a set of delivery dates that allows you to choose one that's convenient for you. So again, the use cases for this is so broad, and really it's so powerful if you think about it. All of these different types of experiences you can create.
Yeah, and this is why we probably not have just this one episode on chatbots. There will be plenty more, because the interest is already increasing as well for all of our customers. So we get plenty of inquiries in, because it becomes the next big thing really, or is for many enterprises already. But for most business, it is currently really, really cool stuff to adopt. So the next one we have here as a use case, supporting your employees, your technical staff with sort of technical support. And you probably know, so most of the technical problems can be resolved by switching on it's on and off the computer to get it working. Actually, that's still very true. I had a situation last week where I couldn't believe it, but just switching it on, off and on, it actually solved the problem. So that's indeed a very, very good use case for your technical staff, if they are just know what to do. Sometimes it's very simple, sometimes it's quite complex, but if your technical staff, your technicians out in the field can actually communicate with the chatbot and receive instructions, so then it can be you can resolve problems very, very easy, and sometimes these things can be automated. They can be then passed on to other systems to do stuff automatically, but you can chat with the bot. Sometimes you get instructions, sometimes you can even do the reboot in the back end to solve these problems, and then furthermore, for example, if it's a broadband problem or so, and you're talking to a chatbot, maybe that chatbot can do something in your router automatically if it has the right way of doing things, the right permissions of doing things. But so this is really, really good. And then this only leaves what you mentioned earlier. You can free up people again, your staff again, to really concentrate on the really complicated issues. So what the majority can be potentially done by the bot, either helping your technicians or other people, customers, solving the technical problems themselves with instructions, or even go deeper into the infrastructure in the back end.
Yeah, I guess we talk about putting the right automation in front of the particular audience that would engage with it, and I think a lot of sort of technical support issues, especially tier 1 issues, can actually be resolved by just leading a person and coaching them how to do things. Like you say, turn the computer off, turn it on. Of course, you're on your mobile phone when you chat with the chatbot, so it's really convenient. Or the chatbot asks you a few questions. And again, the sort of higher tier 2 and 3 issues, these are the ones that we actually want to route to a human, because they perhaps more of the complicated ones, which need a
Unfortunately, that's it again with this episode of the Process and Automation podcast. If you liked this episode, please give us a 5-star rating, and don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss any upcoming episode. We hope you will tune in next time, and until then, let's automate it.